Okay, hello everyone, this is Capitaland Integrated Commercial Trust Q3 2023 business updates dated 26 October 2023. Right, please note I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. Please pause to read this disclaimer if you need to. Right, so basically performance wise, gross revenue and NPI are up. Alright, later on we'll see why. So there's higher portfolio committed occupancy and positive rental revisions, right, increasing tenant sales and shopper traffic. Later we'll see that their suburban retail side is quite impressive in terms of rental reversions. Right, they have hedged their utilities rates until end 2024 and borrowings are more or less on fixed interest rates. Okay, most of it is on fixed interest rates. Clarke Quay is going to be completed soon and they are actually progressively handing over to the tenants already. Okay, including those under advanced negotiations, they expect the occupancy to be above 85%. Right, so you can see high percentage of occupancy, WALE is 3.5 years, borrowings on fixed rate 78%, retail portfolio rental revision up 7.8%. We'll see why. I think this is quite impressive later. Office portfolio carries on its recovery at 8.8%. Right, tenant sales is actually to me it's a bit disappointingly low at increase of 4.4% because shopper traffic is like 3 times more, right? So yeah, average maturity to debt is 4.1 years. Right, so I wouldn't say too much about this, alright? They will just say that gross revenue is up and net property income is up, alright? But the reason why this is small is because of high actual occupancy and shopper traffic, right? So the operating expenses of this has increased. Okay, this is basically the same slide, just that it's year to date. Right, so we look at the capital management. So as of the last time I updated the REITs comparison list for their leverage, right, it was 30th June. So the leverage has increased slightly, right? Percentage of borrowing on fixed interest rate is the same. Interest coverage ratio has dropped slightly. Cost of debt has increased by 0.1% again, right? So we'll just update this table that I've been trying to put together, right? So instead of the last one being 30th June, right, the gearing has gone up slightly, cost of debt 0.1%, increased by 0.1%, and interest coverage ratio dropped by 0.1, right? So the details are actually here, right? So sorry, interest coverage ratio dropped by 0.2, right? So yeah, so basically the change is towards the negative side, right? So if I look at all these 5 REITs together, I would say that the strongest 2 REITs in terms of gearing, right, is probably MIT and MPACT. They have the highest interest coverage ratios, right? And MIT is actually the lowest gearing as well, or rather one of the lowest gearing lah. Okay, FCT is actually slightly lower, assuming they can complete their Changi City Point sale, which I expect them to. Right, so anyway, the debt profile is quite good in the sense that this year they are more or less done, right? And over the next few years is less, 15% or less every year, which is very well spread out, right? So high occupancy throughout its portfolios. Right, this is a slight point of concern. WeWork has declared for bankruptcy, so they might lose this 2.4% of their rent. Right, luckily it's not too big of an issue, right? They are quite well diversified lah. That 2.4% shouldn't affect them too much. Right, generally retention is high, right? That's what this slide says. This is suburban malls increase in rent by 7.4%. I think is quite impressive as opposed to for example FCT. If you look at this FCT slide, right? So I just took this out for comparison. You can see that the overall retail portfolios, and FCT is all suburban malls, right? So the rental return is 4.7%, whereas CICT's suburban malls actually got 7.4%, and of course the downtown malls got better rental reversion lah. But that's probably because they had a longer period of issues during COVID lah. So they suffered more during COVID. So I would expect their rental reversions here to be better, but I'm quite surprised that CICT suburban malls are also performing better than FCTs. Right, so anyway, yeah, I think tenant sales only up 4%, which I think is a bit disappointing. I think it's because people are still dealing with the inflation issues in Singapore, and they think that the downtown traffic is stronger because of tourists from China. Alright, so moving on. Generally, rental revisions for the office portfolio is increasing. And we move on to look at their retail space. Alright, they are the largest private retail owner in Singapore. Right, the second largest is no more than 5%. Right, I suspect this is FCT. Right, they say there's limited supply coming through the next few years. Right, and yeah, I think this is why they are quite confident of their Singapore properties rental revisions. Right, so these are hopeful that tourist recovery by 2024 should improve traffic more and hopefully lead to more sales. Right, and office space wise, they are again the largest. Right. Yes, and also within CBD, they are saying that the demand should be relatively higher than the supply, right? Because there's more or less little to no supply in the CBD area, right? They say no supply in CBD core, right? Only one site in the fringe area and one commercial site at Punggol Walk, right? And these white sites at Jurong Lake District and Marina Gardens Crescent, right? So I think in Singapore, they are very confident of their rental revisions in the near term, right? Provided there's no very bad economic crisis, right? You can see that this is the rental rate for Grade A office, and I think there's some room for improvement lah, right? Because you can see we haven't even recovered to the 2008 crisis highs yet, right? So they were at $18.8, right? Now it's still at 11.85. It's more or less been, it's slightly uptrend, but I would say the uptrend is very gentle lah, right? So possibly there's more space for office hikes in Singapore. Right, that's all. Thank you for listening.